Join Rainier Avenue Radio from 5 to midnight for Sunday evening sound sessions. Jazz from the cabinets from Big Poppy.
That's right. It's time once again for Jazz from the Cabinets with Big Poppy.
Sergio LaCour's Love Lines.
It's Sergio's Love Lines with Sergio LaCour. Go to the phone line. Tell her who we talking to.
Sage Prince and Just My Opinion.
This is Sage, and that's just about going to do it for the first half of Just My Opinion.
K-Fox Nightbeat with Nasty Ness Rodriguez.
It's the beat of the Fox. K-Fox Nightbeat, Nasty Ness.
You know what? You're going to listen from 5 to midnight. Just turn it on and don't stop. DJ Alibaba. The Underground Surround Sound Star Time with Paul Pearson.
Thanks for tuning in. My name is Paul Pearson.
Sunday evening sound sessions on Rainier Avenue Radio. Trust me, you'll be listening the entire time from 5 to midnight. Sunday evening, your sound session on Rainier Avenue Radio.
This is Mondo Bancaro for Mondo's World. We will be discussing some interesting subjects. Sometimes I might even have some guests. So please listen to my show on Rainier Avenue Radio.
Did you know there's an easy way to keep yourself and your loved ones healthy? COVID vaccines are safe and a proven way to keep your family out of the hospital and enjoying life. Let's show our love to those around us. Get your free COVID vaccine today. If you haven't had a COVID shot since September, you're due for a booster. At NeighborCare Health, we are here for you. For more information about COVID vaccines and all of your health needs, visit neighborcare.org/vaccines.
Would you like to see when your favorite Rainier Avenue Radio show comes on? Check out our show schedule, updated weekly at rainieravenue.world.
Every time you play so smooth, makes me wanna groove.
Welcome, everyone. It's Friday, and it's Brenda Charles Edwards hosting Seniors Matter. We're live every Friday at 12:30 Pacific Standard Time on www.Rainier Avenue Radio, your community radio station. You can also listen to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch TV, and, of course, the Rainier Avenue Radio app. We feature interviews with people that provide services and have valuable information for seniors, their family, and, of course, the community. Do you need financial documents notarized? Are you in need of documents being read to you for clarity or completion? Call me, Brenda, at Black Orchid Notary, 206-683-2636. Tell me where, I'll meet you there. Well, my guest today is Marigrace Becker. She's a program manager of the Community Education and Impact at the UW Memory and Brain Wellness Center. That's such a mouthful. And she's the director of the Memory Hub, which is a place for dementia-friendly community collaboration and impact. This is a friend of mine, and I'm so glad to see her because it's been a while. Welcome to the show. Marigrace, how are you?
Oh, thanks so much, Brenda. It's great to see you. I'm doing well, and it's really wonderful to be back. Thank you so much.
Yes, I'm so glad because you have so much information. You know, I wear many hats. I don't know how many hats you wear, but just the one that you're doing with dementia and the Memory Hub, that's a full-time job.
Oh, well, I am very pleased to be able to do it because it's such an important area to serve folks.
So tell my audience a little bit about the Memory Hub.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm excited to be on the show to share about the Memory Hub because we've only been open now for just over 1 year. But the Memory Hub is a dementia-specific community center or senior center. So we focus on living well with dementia or memory loss and supporting care partners. And it's operated by the UW Memory and Brain Wellness Center here on First Hill.
So where exactly is that located?
Yeah, so the Memory and Brain Wellness Center is based at Harborview Medical Center on First Hill in Seattle. And then the Memory Hub is a separate community space several blocks away from there. It's right next to the Fry Art Museum.
Oh, sure.
Across from O'Day High School.
Okay.
So we're there. 1021 Columbia Street is our address.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And are there particular hours?
Yeah, we're open to the public Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. And there's other programs and events scheduled outside of that. But during those times, folks can just walk right on up and access the different resources here.
So what types of programs do you offer people with memory loss and their families? Because that's important support system is the families.
Right, absolutely. There are a lot of things going on here. So a piece of what we do would be support. So there's support groups for people with memory loss or for family members that happen in person or online. There's also educational different opportunities. So one of our partners on site, Full Life Care, they do caregiver education. So different trainings that caregivers can do to help them learn a little bit more about supporting their loved one. We also do an orientation for people recently diagnosed with memory loss, just a little bit about kind of what to expect and what kind of things you can do to help your brain work as well as possible and stay healthy. And then, so like support, education, and then also social engagement is a big piece of what happens here. So that could be through different social meetups, or there's arts programming or nature programming or technology related programming, a lot similar to the type of things you might find at your everyday senior center, but with that built-in understanding of persons with dementia are included and welcomed. So, and I can tell you more about any of those programs, but that's kind of like the broad overview.
I understand. And you will be back in a couple of weeks to talk more. You know, and I think I shared this with you the last time we talked about when I went through the program for the champions.
Right.
Give the full title because obviously I can't remember.
Dementia Friends, the Dementia Friends
yes.
program. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the one thing in that training that stuck out for me was, I told you, you know, the bookshelf.
Mm-hmm.
And I share that with people all the time, and I'm going to share it with my audience. So picture a bookshelf. So now we're talking about people with dementia. And sometimes you're wondering why, and even Alzheimer. You're trying to figure out, why is it taking them so long to give you an answer or explain something? Well, the example that was given to us was a bookcase with shelves, you know, full of books. That's for quote unquote the person that is not, I was going to say normal, but normal's not good. For the person that does not have dementia or any type of challenges in their brain. Oh, thank you for the bookcase. So now picture this. A couple books fell out of the top shelf. 3 or 4 fell off the second shelf. There might be a full one on the third shelf. The fourth shelf has 1 or 2 missing. And then the last shelf has its space. Well, once those books fall out, there's nobody to pick them up and put them back on the shelf. And those are the books that are missing when they're trying to explain something to you or trying to remember something that's happened. That's the book that was titled that. And that's why it takes them so long and maybe not even able to tell you. Sometimes, you know, if you have an idea of what they're talking about, you might throw out a word and they go, yes, that's it. You know, but for the most part, if that book is gone, that memory's gone. That's what our bookshelves are. All the books in our bookshelf in our brain are memories. And the training was wonderful. I learned a lot, but that is the one thing, because I'm visual. That is the one thing that has stuck out with me over these last couple of years. And I share that with people.
Yeah.
So now you know. You hopefully will have a better understanding and more patience with someone, because that's the crucial. And the other thing that I learned, Mary Grace, is that when you're talking with someone with dementia or Alzheimer, if they're seated, don't stand above them. Sit down at their level. Mm-hmm. That way it makes them more comfortable. They're not feeling like you're lording over them and you are more superior to them, because that makes them uneasy. Mm-hmm. And I tried that with my dad because he was going through that. And what a difference it made. And it's like when we would sit down to eat, I'd sit down across from him, you know, in a chair, and we would talk while he's eating. Or sometimes I would eat with him, mm-hmm. and we, you know, share stories on things. So it really made a difference. And I thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be in that program. It was great.
Well, Brenda, we thank you so much. And wearing that hat, in addition to all the other hats that you wear, you were an amazing Dementia Friends champion, spreading the word about dementia and how to be supportive to folks with dementia. So
well, that was easy. Those 2 things, you know, really stuck out, and it makes people think. Right. And you know, because we don't know what it's like for everybody's a little different. So if we just practice compassion and knowing, some right things to say, then it goes a long way. It really does.
Yeah.
If you're just tuning in, you're listening live to Seniors Matter with your host, Brenda Charles Edwards, on www.RainierAvenueRadio.world, your South Seattle community radio station. Do you know what's the best gift we can give ourselves and our loved ones? Join me on Zoom for a group or individual session on Speaking of Dying, End of Life Planning. You can reach me at 206-683-2636. Now back to my guest, Mary Grace Becker, Mary Grace, you are a champion. And I just thoroughly appreciate what you do. And people need to know more about what you do. So let's get into the next part of the program. What are other resources that people can access on site?
Sure. So if folks come to the Memory Hub during our open hours, which again is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 9 to 3, there are a variety of resources folks can engage with right here, just dropping in. So that includes, we have a really excellent library and resource center focused on living well with memory loss. There's a really great selection of books focused on brain health and caregiving that people can take a look at while they're here, and that the resource center also includes a bunch of different other take-home materials that people can read and consider more about their experience with memory loss or help for caring for someone with dementia or memory loss. So I like to highlight that library. It's really a nice feature. There's also an art gallery on site of art made by people with dementia, which is something that we like to showcase in terms of recognizing those the creativity and strengths of persons with dementia, and recognizing people with dementia are full human beings still here in our midst. So it's nice. I recommend popping by just to be inspired by the art there on the walls. We also have an Alzheimer's Association, like a social worker. She's called a care consultant that's here, and she offers free 30-minute appointments to talk through any concerns or challenges that might be on your mind related to living with memory loss or being a caregiver. So that's a great opportunity too, just to connect with somebody that can get you connected to other kinds of resources that are out there for your journey. And then I also like to highlight, we have the state's first public, what's called Memory Garden, which is a specially designed green space with that emphasis on being accessible and engaging to people with memory loss or family
Where's that?
members. So it's right behind the building. It's all enclosed with this beautiful hedge or natural hedging. And it creates this beautiful little botanical oasis right here in the middle of First Hill downtown, tucked away there. So folks can come on in. There's a beautiful fountain. There's a really nice big raised garden bed in the middle that people can engage with the plants in. All the plants are non-toxic, so you can taste whatever you want. There's a lot of sensory elements. So some of the plants have different special feels to them, or colors, or taste. And it's a very engaging spot. So I like to let people know you can also drop into the Memory Garden anytime we're open. So those are some of the things you can access just coming on by. And then we have different scheduled programs and groups and events that are also available that people can sign up for on our website.
And the other thing I thought about too, Mary Grace, is music. People with Alzheimer's dementia, they love music. And to me, it might even enhance their memory brain. Even though a book may have fallen off the shelf, there's still other books on there, and they're not knowing which memory is affected. But I do know, and I've seen that music is something that's important, that needs to be in the person's life.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Music is that really special thing in terms of the way it connects to so many parts of our brain. So even if there's rhythm, there's words, there's the tune itself, and all of that, it's processed by different parts of the brain. So like you were saying, even if one bookcase, so to speak, falls out, there's still other parts of the brain that are well connected for whatever's going on within music. So it is really special. So I want to do more with music over time. Right now, there's some programs that incorporate music, but my hope is to start up like a choir or chorus here on site in the next year or so. So Yeah, stay tuned for that. Brenda. You're inspiring me.
Okay, I like that. So
Mhm.
what if people don't live in King County? Is there a way for them to access resources at the Memory Hub?
That's a great question. Yeah, so some of the things are well set up for folks that live in, King or Snohomish or Pierce County, where they're able to drive in here. But other things are set up to be able to be accessed online. So I'll mention a few of those programs. We do have a weekly online caregiver support group that's free. It's every Monday at 10 o'clock. Folks can access it by Zoom. And it's really easy, low barrier to get into. You just sign up online on our calendar, and then you get a reminder email every week. And you can come as often as you want. You can come just once. You can come every week, for years and years. And folks find that to be, I think, a really useful connection point to feel like I'm not alone. Caregiving is hard.
Especially when you're doing family caregiving.
Right, exactly. It is for family caregivers. Yep. So getting connected to others who understand your experience, and then sharing strategies and resources with each other is what that's all about. So you can do that from anywhere in the state or beyond the state online. And then we have a sister program to that on every Tuesday at 10. There's an online group for people with memory loss. So also free, also just sign up and you're in. You can come as often as you want and connect with other people. And again, find I'm not alone in what I'm going through and sharing resources with each other. So those would be two programs that are very, very popular in terms of how easy it is to just get right in there. And, if you don't like it, you can jump off the computer in 2 minutes and it's not a big deal.
And they might not even know.
Yeah, exactly. And then another program that's easy to access without coming in would be Full Life Care, one of our partners on site. They do the caregiver education training. And that is something that people can do online. It's there's 5 class series basically, where they learn on their own time through computer. And then there's also individualized coaching that happens over the phone. So they'll, read up and learn, take the class online, and then there's a coach that calls them on a regular basis and talks through how does this apply to your situation and what are you going through and how can I provide some of that extra support. So those would be a couple ways I think people could engage through some of the resources without coming actually into the building.
So I know that you have a number of community partners. You want to tell us a little bit about who they are and what they're doing for you or with you?
Yeah, definitely. I think one of the special things about the Memory Hub and something that we emphasize is collaboration. So even though it's a UW operated space, there's no, purple and gold all over the place. It's really meant to be this space for everyone to bring in the community and to recognize there's a lot of good work happening through a lot of good people out there. It doesn't have to be all about UW. So we're excited that we have 5 partners here on site and with room to grow. In fact, I'll just say if there's any other organization out there that serves people with memory loss or older adults that would like to partner up, you're welcome to reach out to me. But currently, our first partners include the Fry Art Museum, which is right next door. And they've been doing what they call creative aging programs for people with dementia for about 12 years or so. A lot of things there on site in their museum galleries with special tours and art making classes designed to work well for people with dementia and family members. So they're a partner here. And one of the things they do is they organize a monthly social meetup called an Alzheimer Cafe.
Yes.
Something. Yeah. Folks with dementia or family members come together. They look at a big piece of art from the art gallery, from the Fry Art Museum gallery, and discuss it. And there's music, Brenda. There's some live music and there's some good food. And it's just a good, feel good time, a touch point once a month where people can get together and connect. So that's the Fry Art Museum. And then we also partner with the Alzheimer's Association. I mentioned they have one of their care consultants here on site, which is great, free resource for folks. And then there's 2 others, the Full Life Care. I've mentioned them. They do that family caregiver education.
Right.
We also have another support program for family caregivers that I like to mention. It's called Care Teams, and they recruit community volunteers, groups of 2 or 3, that then support a family caregiver with whatever their kind of day-to-day needs might be. Maybe it's like, hey, I'll take your grocery shopping list and I'll go, do your shopping for you, or I'll come and sit with your loved one for a few hours while you take a break, or it could be, kind of anything in terms of those daily needs. So that's great. So that's full life care. And then last but not least, Elderwise, which is a couple decades old nonprofit, is based here now, and they do an adult day program for people with dementia that has a heavy arts emphasis. It's a 4-hour day program where people with dementia come together and do creative arts and exercise, lunch, conversation, time in the garden, and all that. So along with UW, that's the 5 partners right now, and with room to grow.
What kind of responses are you getting from people at this early point in the Memory Hub existence?
Brenda, one of my favorite responses was before we'd even opened, I was doing public tours of the space. And my very first time when somebody with dementia came through the space on a tour, I was, doing what I normally do, talking too fast, like, this is this thing, this is that thing. By the end of it, I was like, oh, I wonder what this person with dementia took away. And I hope I know I do talk too fast and all that. So I just paused to ask.
Because you're excited.
I'm excited. Enthusiasm comes through. But I asked the man, I said, what do you think? What do you think of the space? Or, what are you taking away? And I was very curious. And I just paused. He was quiet for a minute. And then he said, well, this space is all about welcome. Come on in. We're doing some fun things here, and you might like them too. And I was like, oh my gosh,
yay!
Blah, 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 fast, talking words. He got the heart of it, which the Memory Hub is all about. Welcome, you belong, you matter, whether or not you're experiencing dementia. So, anyway, that's one of my favorite responses that I've gotten. But people are excited, I think, part of the original vision was that people, when they receive a diagnosis at the memory clinic that's at Harborview, would not be left with that sense of well, what do I do now? What do I do? They'd be left with a sense of, you can actually walk 2 blocks away from here and access a variety of resources to help you get set up well for the rest of your journey with dementia. So I think people have really been encouraged by that, to know they're not alone, and there are a variety of organizations set up to be supportive.
I love the garden idea because I am not a gardener. Let me make that clear. However, I respect those that are, and I see what it gives to people that are into it. And it's just a whole, your hands are in the earth. My back won't let me do that. But it's just, it's just so freeing, and you're in a whole nother world, at least for me anyway. And most people I talk to, that's why they love gardening and, planting plants, planting food. I mean, it's just a whole different feel. You don't think about the outside and your individual problems because you're focused on the gardening.
Yeah. Totally. You can be in the moment there. For sure. I'm smiling because this morning we just had a program with the Parks Department out in the garden, where, I woke up this morning. I don't know if it's raining where you're at, Brenda, but it was raining real hard. It was raining real hard where I was at. And I was thinking,
liquid sunshine. That's what it is.
Yes, liquid sunshine. But I was wondering if anybody would show up for this garden program. But in fact, there was a good little group out there doing engagement with the garden and then doing some nature-based crafts inside the building and things. So it's really neat to see people engaging with nature. And like you said, kind of forgetting about some of the maybe day-to-day challenges in life while they're really sinking their hands into the soil and working with plant material.
Yes. So are there any upcoming events, Mary Grace, that we should know about as we approach Brain Health Awareness Month, which, by the way, folks, is June?
Yeah, definitely. I was excited to be able to share about a couple upcoming events in our broader region. And both of these are put on partially by another friend of Brenda and mine, Karen Winston, out of Aging and Disability Services. But if you haven't yet heard, there's a national initiative called Memory Sunday, which focuses on dementia awareness and caregiver supports within Black churches. And that is typically the first or second Sunday in June. This month, or this June, it'll be on Sunday, June 11th. So if you attend or are connected to a Black church in your neighborhood, just letting you know that that's coming up, and it's something, if that is you, and if your pastor isn't yet aware or connected into that initiative, they can definitely reach out to Karen Winston at karen.winston@seattle.gov and have their church get connected up to it and promote dementia awareness there. So that's Sunday, June 11th. And then another resource I wanted to share about coming up in Brain Health Awareness Month, there's a multicultural caregivers conference. This is a new thing. It hasn't yet, it's not like an annual thing. So it's kind of like first time ever, exciting multicultural caregivers conference coming up on Thursday, June 8th at Tukwila Community Center. And that's from 10 to 2. And it's something led by Aging and Disability Services, again, same person, Karen Winston, and then her colleague over at the Alzheimer's Association, Beverly Kimmins. They're putting that together. So that's going to be a wealth of resources for family caregivers, and highly recommend stopping by that Tukwila Community Center on Thursday, June 8th from 10 to 2.
So don't worry, folks. Karen is going to be here on May 19th at 12:30. And I forgot the other lady's name that she's working with, but she's coming too.
Oh, perfect.
So you will have
Great.
a wealth of information
Great.
on May 19th. So make sure you tune in. That, and as far as Memory Sunday goes, I have worked with the program. It's a great program, and you can and should definitely promote it within your church. There's just so much. You can even get, when we did it, we had fans that we gave away.
Mm-hmm.
I still have mine. So I think
those are real popular. Those fans with the brain health facts on them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. What else have I missed anything?
I might just,
there's so much.
Yeah, there's a lot. I think I might just mention to folks that if they're interested in learning more about the Memory Hub, the easiest way to do that is taking a look at our website, which is thememoryhub.org, thememoryhub.org. And there's a calendar listing there where you can see the different programs happening. But you can also, the art gallery that I mentioned here, all the art is online as well. So you could take a look at the art without physically coming in. There's a lot of beautiful photos and ways to learn more about what's happening in the Memory Garden as well if you go online. And the Library and Resource Center, all the books that are there focused on brain health and family caregiving. The list, like that library catalog, is on the website too, with brief descriptions of each book. So that's another way to kind of take a look and know what's here already. And then you could even just check out the book, from your own library too, if you want.
Wow. Marigrace, thank you. You're just doing it, my dear. You're just doing it. And I just so appreciate you because she gives a lot of time, folks. She really does. But she has the passion for it too. So that makes a big difference. But make sure that you check her out. And if you have a loved one that is dealing with dementia, please, please, please get in touch with Marigrace. And also, I just like to say that I hope that, first off, I thank my viewers and my listening audience for being here and supporting me. I really, really appreciate you. This episode today was my 223rd episode.
Woo!
Yes.
That's amazing, Brenda.
I know. I had to take a couple breaks. So, but I love it. And I'm glad I'm here to be able to offer the information because that's what it's all about. My show is called Seniors Matter with an exclamation mark. Like Black Lives Matter, Seniors Matter to me and to all of us. So I try to give you what you need to know. And there's so much, so much. But it's time for me to go. And I want to thank my listening audience and the viewing ones and for being here. And a special thanks to Marigrace. And also to Patrice Isley, who is the music that you hear playing when I open and close. I want everyone to have a great and safe weekend. Don't forget about the Garfield Lincoln baseball playoffs at Steve Cox Memorial Field at 1 o'clock. And just thank you, thank you, thank you. Live your life like it's golden. Bye.
Bye.
Go Kraken. Hey, yeah, Kraken's doing it. And I'm not a fan, but go Kraken.